Good day. Now, please take note, anytime you are looking at a math video, you have to be participating in the video, involved in the video, so that you can capture as much of what is being explained as possible. You must have a pen or pencil and your exercise book, your calculator, your ruler, and so forth, your eraser. And then you are, the video will be like the teacher. You have to pretend that you're in a classroom, okay? And you can pause the video, rewind it, and then write your notes, and then for you to internalize. That's the way the most efficient way for you to internalize what is being explained. For example, this question here says, the functions f and g are defined as follows. F of x is equal to 5x plus 4 plus 7, and g of x is equal to 3x minus 1. For the functions given above, determine g of 1/3. So we're going to solve what is g of 1/3. So please pause the video and copy down this question, and then we'll move forward. So to find what is g of 1/3, we need to know what is g of x in the first place. So when you go to the information, we see we have f of x and we have g of x. So we are interested in g of x. G of x is equal to 3x subtract 1. So let us write this down. So here it is, g of x is equal to 3x subtract 1. So please take this down. Now we want to find g of 1/3. G of 1/3. As you can see, 1/3 took the place of x. So in the expression 3x minus 1, all where you see x, we have to replace x with 1/3. The 3 will remain and the minus 1 will remain, but the x now have to change to 1/3 because we want to find g of 1/3. So please pause the video and write this down and contemplate on it a little bit. We have found g of x, which is 3x minus 1, and we are going to substitute 1/3 in the place of x to find what is g of 1/3, which is 3 times 1/3 minus 1. Three times 1/3 minus 1 can be done mentally. We have to analyze what is 3 times 1/3. Now 3 now can be written as 3 over 1. So that's 3 over 1 times 1/3. So that's what 3 times 1/3 means. It means 3 over 1 times 1 over 3. And then we have to minus 1. Now 3 over 1 times 1 over 3. That's 3 times 1, because when you multiply in fractions, you have to multiply straight across. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 times 1 is 3. So 3 over 1 times 1/3 is 3 over 3. 3 times 1/3 is 3 over 3. Now 3 over 3 is 1. 3 over 3 is 1. And 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So g of 1/3 is equal to 0. So please note that 3 times 1/3 is actually comes under the topic of multiplication of fractions, because 1/3 is a fraction. So we make 3, which is a whole number, look like a fraction by putting it over 1. So 3 over 1 is a fraction multiplied to 1 over 3, which is another fraction. And when you are multiplying fractions, which of course is a step I skipped here, let me put it. When you are multiplying fractions, you multiply straight across. You multiply numerator to numerator and denominator to denominator. So really and truly, here now, we're supposed to write, or if you would like to see the working, 3 times 1, because numerator to numerator, 3 times 1, 3 times 1, and the denominator is 1 times 3. 1 times 3. You multiply straight across. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 times 1 times 3 is 3. So you're going to get 3 over 3, which is 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, because multiplication comes before subtraction. So 3 times a third is actually 2 fractions multiplying to each other, because 3 can be made look like a fraction by putting it over 1. Okay, so it's multiplication of fractions, and you multiply numerator to numerator, denominator to denominator. So to prove this in our calculator, to prove that 3 times a third is 1, you put 3 times, and in a bracket, you put 1 over 3. 1 over 3 is the same as 1 upon 3. Okay, so it's 3 times 1 over 3. And I look at here, 3 times 1 over 3. Okay, and then you press enter, you're going to get 1. So 3 times 1 over 3 is 1. Here it is. And 1 minus 1 is equal to 0. So please prove that in your calculator. Get out your calculator and prove that. Pause the video and prove it. And actually, you can actually put 3 times a third minus 1, the entire evaluation, 3 times a third minus 1, and you type enter, you get in 0 one time. So in the exam, you don't really, in the paper 2, you don't have to show all this working, because it's you can use your calculator. Okay, but mental arithmetic is very important, and here it is, manually, mentally, and here it is using your calculator. 3 times a third minus 1 is 0, so g over third is equal to 0. Please copy this down and rewind it, rewind the video, practice it. Okay, practice it as much as possible. Yes.